Hey everybody. Um, I'm Kelly, if you don't know me. You probably do though if you're following along. I am coming live today, number one, because I actually have on makeup and my hair is not in a ponytail and I have on real clothes. So I wanted to document that because that doesn't happen very often. And I just wanted to kind of get on today and just talk about a few things that's going on in our life. It's a new season, and I want to share kind of what that means and just invite you guys to kind of be a part of our new season. First of all, I'm sitting in our house that we have built this last year. We have two houses that we built as like vacation homes. We live in an area where there's like a huge equestrian thing that's been built. And so, because of that, we had one house that we were renting and felt like it was worth the investment to build two more. So, I'm in our house, which is complete. Besides just a few little nitpicky things that we need to change. And we have worked well over a year now and built these two houses, and it's not been an easy year by any means. If you've ever built a house, you understand that there's a lot of stress that goes with that. And if you've ever built two houses at the same time, you would understand that sometimes it feels like there's like twice as much stress. So to be able to sit here in this house is like a major blessing, and I feel like I have almost built myself little sanctuaries because they're on our property, but they're off by themselves in the middle of the woods. They're beautiful. They have this sweet little farmhouse style, and it's just a blessing. I mean, I don't even know any other way to describe it, that we've been given this opportunity to do this. So that is one of the new seasons I feel like we're coming into, where we're kind of out of this construction phase that was so challenging at times, and into the stage where now we get to enjoy the fruit of our labor. Obviously, building two houses comes with a loan and all those good things. So this is the season where we get to see that start hopefully going away, and hopefully going away quickly. The other part of a new season for us, if you have an understanding of like the Jewish calendar, then the Jewish New Year was just a week or two ago. And so in the celebrations of the Jewish New Year, the people often would come together, a family would come together, and they would thank God for what He did in the year before, where you could look at things in your life and say, okay, I had nothing to do with that. This was only God. And then you could look at the year ahead and ask God to do something that only He could do. And so in these houses is where Mike and I celebrated the Jewish New Year. And the tradition was you eat apples with honey on them as a reminder of just the sweetness of God and what He had done for your family. So that season is, we've just started with the new year. So there's a whole lot of promise that comes with the new year. And it's just like, a traditional new year. But with the Jewish calendar, it was this season was when they did it. So I just feel like there's so much that is going on and so much that's changing right now that I just kind of had to get on and talk about it. The other thing that is super amazing and exciting is that my husband and I were just ordained today to minister the gospel of Jesus Christ to whoever He sees fit for us to minister to. Obviously, we've been doing this for a long time, and just wherever He would send us, that's where we ministered. And we never have felt like we were called to necessarily, into like pastoring a church or anything like that. But it was more of we just minister to who He brings in front of us at the time. And, but finally we felt called to make it formal, I guess you would say. to have an ordination. So he and I both were ordained today as ministers, and I'm just, I just have no idea. I feel like I'm just kind of bubbling over with expectation. I have no idea what God has for us, and I know none of us know like what the future holds, but I feel like with this new season there is great joy that's coming from a lot of sorrow and things that we've kind of walked through over the last couple years. And, I'm grateful for that, because I'm grateful that God has shown us that, even in the midst of sorrow, there's beautiful things that can happen, and there's blessings amongst all of the hurt and the pain. And even today, our pastor, the service that they had for us today was absolutely amazing. And I will share as I can parts of it, and I should be able to have a video and stuff like that at some point in time. But one of the parts of the service that was so amazing is that he had first a cup of lemons. And so we were to each take a lemon and not just taste the lemon, it's like get the lemon, get all the lemon out of the lemon. And that represented the bitter things and the things that are not going to taste real good. That's part of ministry. That's part of, doing the work of the kingdom, is that it's not all going to be sweet, just to be perfectly honest. I mean, we live in a fallen world, and there's things that come, and, that was a representation of that. And then the next thing he had was a bowl of salt. And the salt represented a preserving and a keeping, that the Lord would keep us and preserve us through this time, and that there would be nothing that could separate us from that and from him. And so we had to eat a handful of salt. And then finally, he had a bowl of honey. And so, of course, the honey is like sweetest, most wonderful taste, and that obviously represents the sweetness of serving the Lord and following him, and just what that relationship and that walk is going to be like. And so, I feel like over the last few weeks since we lost Lily, that there has been a sweetness that I really have never known. And I'm reading a lot of different books right now, and one of the book reviews that I've done for the new website will be coming out this week. But I've got a lot of posts that's coming this week on the new website, leaning on her beloved, and starting to really put out what I've been working on, basically. So I kind of let you guys know about the website last week, got started with that as far as getting things out there for social media purposes. But the heart of the mission and what I feel called to do with that website is starting this week. So one of the things I'll be talking about is birth trauma, or having a traumatic birth. I don't know really many people who have had perfect births that went exactly according to their plan, exactly the way they thought it should go. And really, for the most part, probably most of us have had something that's happened that kind of left us shaken after we left the hospital, or after the birth was finished. So but there's not a lot of awareness about that. There's not a lot of awareness about what that can do to a person when they've gone through a traumatic situation like a birth. So anyway, those are some of the things I'm going to be covering on the website, as well as sharing other people's stories. I've shared some of my own stories. And then the book review that I was talking about, one of the sweet things that I have experienced with the Lord since losing Lily is just a closeness that I had longed for, to be perfectly honest. I mean, I've been longing for a closeness with the Lord, a closer walk with him. And so as I was reading this book, the book's called The Down and Dirty Truth About Miscarriages. And then the subtitle is, I'll make sure I get it right, Letting Go of Control and Holding On to Hope, I think is what the subtitle is. But of course, when I first heard about it, I really wasn't even paying attention to that part until I sat down to read it this week, because the reviews I had read said it was like a quick read. So I was like, okay, I can get that done this week. So as I was reading it, one of the things that she's talking about is her friend is pregnant at the same time that she has now lost her baby, and what that dynamic is like. And if any of you have ever been pregnant, when you have a friend that's lost, or vice versa, then like what that feels like. There's a tension, there can be things that hold you back, especially if you're the one with a big pregnant belly, to go and love on your friend who just lost her baby. I mean, it's a very hard time in a friendship. And hopefully, with the help of the Lord and everything else, it's not something that can draw or drive a wedge in a friendship, but it's something that can, bring friends back closer together. But what the friend did, she came to the author's house, and she sat down on the couch with her, and I think she had brought her Sonic because that was all she could think that she really wanted to eat. And she told her, she said, I cried out to God today, and I said, God, why? This is not fair that she's lost her baby. This is not right. Why did it have to be this way? And so she's telling her friend, I did this morning. I'm crying out to God for you. And God spoke to her and said, don't do that. She will have a closeness with me that you will never experience. Do not pray that away from her. And I'm going to tell you what, when I read that, it was like ugly tears, because that is exactly the way I have felt as I've walked through this, is that I have something with the Lord that I would have never had I not gone through the experience with Lily. And the thing is, Lily never experienced pain. She never experienced sorrow. She never experienced what, this world has to offer, which is really not a lot of good stuff. Yes, selfishly, I want my baby, and I want to have my baby here with me, but honestly, I mean, her life was perfect. She went from the arms of Jesus right back to the arms of Jesus. So what was the purpose? And so in that, when she was also talking about the things on there, it was maybe, just maybe, this miscarriage or losing this child is not about you, or not about the child, but it's about you and your heart and what the Lord's doing for you. And I am fortunately at a place where I can say, yeah, oh my gosh, yes, this is about my heart, and this is about what He is trying to show me and what He's trying to do for me. And yes, I mean, I absolutely would love to have my baby and not have gone through the loss of Lily or the two babies before that. But they've never tasted pain. They've never tasted anything except the sweetness of the Lord. And so now I can say, all right, Lord, what is it that you're wanting to show me and share with me? So that, coming through what we've gone through with Lily and finding out that it was like exactly 2 years from our first miscarriage, then we had a second one in January of the next year, and now when we delivered Lily, it was exactly 2 years. And I had no idea that was the case until after. But I feel like I've come into a new season with that as well. I've come into a season where, everybody expects me to say, well, I'm not doing that again. We have a whole house full of healthy children and we're good. But honestly, I can't even say that, because you know what? If I say, Lord, I don't want any more children, then I'm saying, Lord, you don't know what's best for me. And if I say, Lord, I do want more children, then I'm still saying, Lord, you don't know what's best for me. So at this point, I'm just saying, Lord, I trust you. And whatever it is, I want to keep my hands open so that I'm ready for whatever, He has for me and our family. And so, new season. The website, like I said, will kind of start. I've got several weeks of posts scheduled to start going out this week. Eventually, I'll start having these conversations over on the new Instagram page and all of that. But for now, because obviously, y'all are my people and y'all mostly are over here, I want to kind of keep pointing you that way so that maybe if that message will apply to you or someone that you will share the new website and the new Instagram page and all that stuff, which is leaningonherbeloved.com, or just for Instagram, leaning on her beloved. But the thing is, I want to continue just to show up because, like I mentioned in the last video, I really feel like no matter what it looks like, and I'm showing up today and it's a little better day. I got a little frizz going on, but at least I do have on makeup. But I feel like being transparent and sharing kind of life with you guys is what God's really calling me to right now, and really is my place of being out of my comfort zone. So I want to show you one last thing before we go. I bought a new Bible. And the reason I bought a new Bible is because, again, with the ordination, with the new year, with the new season, all these things that I've mentioned earlier in the video, I felt like I wanted a new Bible to go. I'd had my old Bible for it was 6.5 years. It was going to be 7 years in January. And I had intended in January to buy the new Bible. And then it just hit me this week. It's like, no, you've got to get the Bible right now. This Bible's got to start now. So I wanted to show you my Bible because I'm so tickled about it. And I just think it's so cool. If you know about Bible journaling, then there's a lot of people out there who color and do things in their Bible, and they're super artistic and talented. I tried that, and yes, I can draw stuff, but I got so caught up in the performance maybe, or feeling like if I didn't do it quite right or whatever, it messed with my perfectionist stuff, and that is something I need to work on, but it's not there yet. So this new Bible, though, that I got is called a Beautiful Word Bible. And Beautiful Word. I'm going to show it to you because there's no other way to do it. See, I'm in my little farmhouse. As I mentioned earlier, this is one of our little completed farmhouses. It's so cute. Nice big TV. Okay, so here's the Bible. And I thought it was only fitting that it has flowers on it. Everything that I'm doing on the new website is flowers, though all the posts will have flowers and things because it just feels like what I'm supposed to do with Lily is our, and having Lily's garden and those kind of things that we're working on this year. So this is the Bible. Now look how big this Bible is. I got some big hands too. I got like some piano hands. I bought this first as the regular Bible, and then I realized it was not exactly as big as I needed. This one is pretty big. But you'll see, it's just like the prettiest Bible ever. I made a little note as to what this new season means, and it's basically everything I just talked to you guys about. But this Bible has pages to color in it. And as you can see, I needed space to be able to underline, and that's what I didn't get in the one that was not large print. So this is considered large print, although it is nowhere near what traditionally you would call large print. So as you can see, it's just got verses that are highlighted that you can then come through and color, but then there's a lot of blank space as well. Some of them are darker than others. And then, let's see if I can find something. Sorry, let me back up a little bit here. I should have marked some pages. So some of the fun things that I really feel like the Lord is kind of leading me to is, there's a whole page. One is that my relationship with Him is supposed to be fun. And if you're not having fun, then kind of what's the point? We delight in Him. And He is a creative God who is obviously got a sense of humor and a really amazing artistic side. If you've ever seen a sunset or looked at the animal kingdom, you would know He's got a sense of humor and a very creative ability. So for us to be able to worship through, let's see if I can find, there's another one, through our scripture time by creating and coloring and just making something, feel very personal, I think is really awesome. And so some of the things I plan to do, obviously, is to color in this, but I'm going to put some fun tabs in it. This thing is going to get really, it's just going to get bright and colorful and fun. And let's see, is there anything else y'all want to see in this before I turn it back over? But like I said, it's just a new season, and I felt like this was the way for me to document. And the other idea that I have, that I've had this idea for a while, but I've never really acted on it, was that having a Bible that was really special for my children. So I see that there's options out there that you could even, if you wanted to have a Bible that's dedicated to a child, then you could outline scripture, you can write messages to them, you could write prayers for them in that Bible, and that would be such an awesome gift to your child down the road. So like if you are pregnant and expecting a baby, that would be such a cool thing to do, would be to buy a Bible that you could, if you didn't want to do a coloring Bible, you could just do one of the journaling Bibles where you could write in there, your prayers and things for your child. But for me, this is like the best way for me to document this new season and just to fill it with life and color and the fun that I feel like that the Lord wants to have with me. Because if you know me, I'm really kind of a more serious personality. Like I like to have fun and laugh, but really and truly, I just have a more serious personality. I'm kind of introverted in a lot of ways. I don't mind spending all day on my computer by myself. It doesn't bother me a bit. So the Lord is breaking a lot of that stuff out of me, because this is, it's a new season. And I have no idea what all is going to be happening, but I'm excited and I really want to share. And so I think I've talked enough. And yes, I will put a link up for this Bible. Like I said, I did look online. There's tons out there, and they're creating these Bibles like more and more all the time. So there's certain ones that only have certain translations. So this particular Bible, the only translation you can get it in is NIV. There is one that's called My Creative Bible that only has the Message translation, which I love that translation. It's not necessarily the carry it to church kind of translation, because you can't follow along necessarily, but for personal study, and the illustrations in it were awesome. I mean, I had to restrain myself and remember I do have a loan payment and not buy both those Bibles, because I really, really like the illustrations in it. And then there's, no wait, I told you My Creative Bible. That is not true. That was KJV version. Something about Canvas. That was the one with the Message. But anyway, there's several options out there that you can use, as it's got the coloring pages in it, and then tons of areas for you to journal and do your own drawings and prayers and whatever. So anyway, I just wanted, like I said, to just document where I'm at right now and what's going on. And I want you to see the happy side, because obviously last time when we was talking, I was sharing a lot of painful stuff, and not that the painful stuff is not still here and it's still painful, but it's, it's moments. So I find that I have, the good moments, and I have the moments where I just need to cry, and it's okay. And I'm okay with that. And, but this is kind of a big week with just really starting to release some of the things on the new blog. Lily's birth story is going to be coming October 1st, because October is Infant and Pregnancy Loss Awareness Month. So I never even knew that existed. So if you've lost a baby, I'm sure you know. And it's one of those things, until you have really gone through this, that those kind of things, you know, it's like Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Unless you know someone who's had breast cancer or had it yourself, typically it's not a month you just get out there and like celebrate and advocate. So you've lost a baby, you don't really know that Infant and Pregnancy Loss Awareness Month exists and why it's so important. So her birth story will be going on October 1st, and you know, it's probably one of the hardest stories I've ever told, but it's, you know, it's the best as far as just, you know, there's purpose, and that's what I keep coming back to. You know, her life had purpose, and you know, she's absolutely perfect and happy and safe, and I can't really ask for any more than that. So I am just thankful you guys tuned in. If you'll go back and watch, you'll see what all I've been talking about, because it's been a lot. But and I will put a link to the Bible, and then you guys can check it out too if you want to. All right, have a great day.